Greetings, YouTube family and all beings. Welcome again to the Now Church. I'm your host and catalyst, Ras Berhan Casa, here to give you the basic grounding on holistic success. How to live successfully and joyfully despite the negative circumstances that we may experience in this time. Today's broadcast is called God is Now, and we are all part of God. These are the points we're going to cover. God is now, we are all part of God. Healthy, natural breathing, essential for good, successful life. The experiential link. Through meditation and divination, we can experience that link with the Most High. And of course, practice, practice, practice. Then we're going to move into holistic spiritual warfare. How we can defeat the negativity in these times. The role of self-esteem and dogged determination. So let me get started with some excerpts from my essay, The Truth About God. Common sense and intuition teach us that oneness is the prime and highest principle of life. It is also called love as well as attention and consciousness. Empathy, connection, and care are some other words referring to the same prime aspect of the Most High. This aspect is self-conscious existence and is the essence of God. God is a person, the original infinite person. He differs from us by being limited by nothing but himself and by being beyond gender. Though for convenience I am referring to him as male. I believe it is important to understand him as one person at the pinnacle of the Godhead, the first being from whom we all come. I believe it is important because to think that there is more than one person at the pinnacle of the Godhead is to propose a state of substantial separation within God, which to my mind would be a form of multiple personality disorder. As the Bible teaches, God is a spirit, meaning that though he can take on any form, he is ultimately formless, and this is why the Kabbalists refer to him as the infinite no thing, the Ein Sof Or. Similarly, the Hindu Advaita Vedanta sages describe him as Neti Neti, not that, meaning that no form you can think of can totally define him. God is love, and love is oneness, innocence, golden rule, respect, openness, non-interference, kindness, empathy, sharing, charity, and friendship. One of his names is I am that I am, which denotes fundamental being or nowness. We must never forget that God has always existed and is always ever present, everywhere, not going or coming, but being. And from my essay, God, the Cosmic Alchemist, I'll give a few more points on this topic. History and experience do not support the belief in a God who works supernaturally without regard to the considerable efforts of those seeking help, and who is frequently willing to use miracles to prove that he exists. The only way to show agnostics and atheists that there is a real God is to present a rational God who seeks to hide his existence and produce strong characters through hardship, and who confirms current revelation through evidence. Such a cosmic alchemist love God is what is missing from most discourse on theism in our world today. Many must revise their view of God to such an open God who is omnipresent and omnipotent, but omniscient only in respect of current reality, real time, and all future possibilities, not a Calvinistic predetermining tyrant or some sort of machine that is simply playing out a perfectly planned script. So let's move on to the other point, talking about breathing, healthy, natural breathing. Very crucial and important step. So I hope we all understand that we need to breathe into our abdomen. When we breathe in, we're taking the air in to the abdomen. And when we breathe out, you breathe it out and make your abdomen go in as the air leaves. So I'll read a little bit from this Penguin Classic Book of Buddhist Scriptures, and we can see how Zen describes a major method of proper breathing. There are several methods, but the Zen method is to sit in the meditation posture and swell with our breath and vitality the abdomen below the navel. So we breathe slowly with proper posture, keeping the chin relatively in when we breathe, and we're breathing slowly into the abdomen. So the abdomen swells with that vitality. In this way, the whole frame is invigorated. Then we meditate, discarding body and mind. Now the delusions, which are the impure heart, come up without ceasing. We should make these fancies, coming one after another, the theme of our meditation. What, after all, is this thought? Where did it come from? We penetrate with the spear point of our meditation to the source of the successive fancies. When we practice sitting in this way repeatedly and make progress in meditation, then of itself the meditation becomes deeper and fuller until there is no room for the fancies to show their heads. The practice is quite unrestricted, and the entry into the experience of truth is also unrestricted. In the end, the wonderful vision appears of one's true nature, the experience of the Absolute, our oneness with the Most High, God, Jah, Adonai, whatever name you seek to call him. So moving on in our little schedule, we just dealt with meditation, which is the experiential link. God is not just a concept, but he that we experience. And practice, practice, practice makes perfect. So now we move on to holistic spiritual warfare. The science of holistic spiritual warfare. The enemy of respectful freedom is bullying. Gross bullying of physical force and threat of physical force, or sophisticated bullying of subtle social games and symbology. The bully will keep attempting to irritate and attack, even at the risk of starting a fight. This is their way of trying to initiate a connection to the victim, so we see that on an energetic level, it is an issue of reaching out for love. After a clear protest and request for non-interference, your reaction to the bully should be to try to educate them on the essential nature of the cosmos. A cosmic intelligent ground, that is God or love God, Jah, connecting and maintaining all eternally. A God of love or oneness. Help them see that the fundamental oneness of life requires us to be respectful to our fellow parts of the whole. Even before finding out if the first step is going to work or not, you should be beefing up your physical strength and security. This includes upgrading physical fitness, as well as strengthening family ties, friendships, and home security. Developing a small business, no matter how small, and simply being more productive can all help your personal security. Next, you must look within and make sure you are at one with your highest self, which is divine. Integrity means to be at one with your true self, and is the key to holistic well-being and successful spiritual warfare. You must make the necessary changes so as to make sure that you are not being a hypocrite in any area of your life. You must make these changes by analyzing yourself and making sure that that which you teach and preach is that which you are doing your best to uphold. You must also upgrade your prayer and or meditation by fine-tuning your techniques and increasing the length of your sessions. Energy boycott. You should take up a position of disengaged respect towards the bully and cease sending any energy their way. You should stop initiating communication with them except in the case of a warning which may be needed later. Magic attacks. If the bully is continuing to infringe on your basic rights, now is the time to start doing magical ritual with your prayers and meditations to set up defenses and initiate attacks. The lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram is a good place to start. Study it and start using it by just reciting it even before you learn all the movements and gestures. It would be good to develop your own personalized version of it. This ritual strengthens your aura and deflects negative energy attacks. Now you should start studying the Enochian magic of Dr. John Dee. Choose the most suitable angelic forces to send on the mission and charge them to hamper, divert, and destroy any efforts of the bully to harm you. If the attacks don't stop considerably after that, you may want to send the perpetrator a brief warning to stop harassing and attacking. Otherwise, spiritual forces will be let loose, bent on his or her destruction. Design and do specific rituals towards this goal. As the attacks of the bully come out at you, it is best to have a technique to reverse the negative effects. I suggest the grateful reversal method. Thank the Most High that the negativity is a reminder of the infinite freedom of life and an opportunity for you to impress your respectful fantasies on the world. Visualize your desired scenario as vividly as possible and affirm it with the sealing mantra, "It is so, right now, forever now." Then, on the material plane, do what you can to prevent a similar negativity from happening again. Media propaganda war. This approach is holistic, so you will need to look at all planes of action. Use all the media forms and information outlets you can in order to let the public know of the unjust attacks you have endured. The Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey used this method through his publications, as Emperor Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia also did through his speeches and publications, such as his appeal to the League of Nations in 1936. So these are those great men: Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia and Marcus Mosiah Garvey, great role models to help us in this struggle, in this time, to reach a just and peaceful earth. So, in the case of 1936, when His Imperial Majesty addressed the League of Nations, that was not successful immediately, but it set the stage for the recapture of Ethiopia under the Emperor's command in 1941. We should follow the example of the King of Kings, Emperor Selassie, who tried to find resolution through all peaceful means and used weapons of force as a last resort. So moving on, self-esteem, what we're going to deal with next, the importance of self-esteem in this time. Because that's the main attack that the system does on I. The importance of self-esteem. We must eradicate self-shame. Self-esteem is a prerequisite for positive and divine life. But putting us into a state of shame is the prerequisite of a totalitarian dystopia, as they seek to put us in a self-defeating situation. This pattern is to demean people to such a desperate level of self-doubt that they are constantly trying to prove themselves and to be worthy or to appear happy and successful. This is the perfect scenario for consumerism-based corporate capitalism to take advantage of the masses. The real formula for self-esteem is to, number one, regularly focus on a great role model, such as the two great people I just gave you an example of. Number two, practice and do the hard work to emulate those people based on your studies of their life's work. Number three, self-program through mantras. Have mantras that you regularly practice, such as, I am cosmic, I am eternal, I am infinite, I am one with the One Most High. And number four, regularly examine and clear your conscience. If you take these steps, your self-esteem can be just as high as you need it to be. And remember, dogged determination, especially in these holiday seasons and winter season that's coming upon us. We need to be at the highest level of our spiritual practice. So stay in touch, keep on watching the broadcasts, and comment, subscribe, be in a positive state at all times. One love is the law. True divine will, supported by oneness. Jah Rastafari. Bless up.